Hey everyone, welcome to the 10x Your Success Story online summit where 30 experts will share their skills, secrets, and shortcuts to help you achieve your most ambitious dreams. My name is Jeric and I am your host. Our guest is the founder of the Facebook group Freelancers in the Philippines with over 100,000 members and a virtual assistant bootcamp with over 3,000 enrolled students. He has been freelancing for the past 9 years and has been able to do so from anywhere in the world, from New York to Rome to Tokyo and many more. Let us welcome Jason Dulay. Hi,
Hey,
Jason.
hey, Jarek. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to share my own success story to your guys, and I want to help people 10x their success and reach
Yes.
their goal.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, thank you also for spending the time with us and sharing your story and your skills. So, you said that what helped you achieve all of the successes that you now have is your ability to constantly move forward no matter what. How
Yeah.
did you get started developing this, trait, and how did this help you achieve your success?
How did I start developing the trait? That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that. But I'd say, well, it's gonna sound funny, but
Mhm.
I'd say probably it started when I was playing video games as a kid. You know how when you play something like, well, Fallout. I used to play Fallout 1, 2. I know there's 3 and 4 right now. Fallout, Diablo, RPGs like Final
Yeah,
Fantasy. Back in the day, yeah. So I play these games, and the thing about these games, one big thing about these games is that you have to level up, right? You have to keep on
exactly.
leveling up. And there's like a big boss. Like there's a big boss. Like there are different stages. There are big bosses, and you can't beat the big boss until you reach a certain level, right? And to level up, it's some games are really tough. Like if we have Dark Souls now, I'm not sure if your viewers are gamers, but like you really have to work. You have to work really hard to level up. You have to defeat monsters. You have to
Yep.
go on quests just so that you can be at the level to, let's say, beat the big boss or get the treasure or save the princess or whatever is the goal of the game. And I say that has actually taught me that, yeah, as in my own life, not just in the games, but in my own life, I have to continue to, you know, to keep leveling up, to keep improving my skills, to keep
Yep.
going on these quests, going on these adventures, and gaining knowledge, gaining experience points, so that I can beat the big bosses, which are, I'd say, my goals. And then once I beat the first boss, then there's another boss. There's the second boss, and I have to, okay, go again. I have to fight small monsters, to gain intelligence, to gain experience, to learn skills in order to, and it
Exactly.
just keeps on going, keeps on moving forward. So I'd say that's one strong way I developed it, is the traits that I learned in these RPGs. And RPGs take hours. It requires a lot of patience to
Exactly.
finish.
Yeah.
Do you play also?
Yep. Yes, I do play Final Fantasy and Zelda.
Yeah. So you get what I'm saying. It takes the and that same patience, that same perseverance. I've applied that in my own life as well. So that's, I guess, it's a strong contributor to this feature or this asset or skill of mine of being able to keep moving forward.
Awesome. And how did this help you, achieve the level of your success right now?
Well, whenever I start something new, whenever I like go into freelancing, or when I started the virtual assistant bootcamp or freelancers in the Philippines, um, I was starting a business, and a lot of people, they start a business, they're very excited,
Yeah.
just like you buy a new game. I'll stop with the games analogies as well. They start a business that they're so excited, they're full of hopes, they're full of
Yep.
dreams. They say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna make a new product. I'm going to make 1 million pesos every month, and so on. It's so exciting to start off, but everyone is like this. Everyone is like this, and I've seen so many businesses. In fact, there's a study I think 80 or 90% of businesses fail in the first 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what a lot of people don't realize, is that we all are going to face setbacks.
Yeah.
Okay? And when they're I say those that are watching from afar, they think, oh, they think that, oh, Jason's just lucky, or Jarek's just lucky. They're able to be successful. Hindi naman oh, is this Taglish or
Yeah.
English? Sorry.
Go ahead.
They think, oh, hindi naman dinaanan yung mga struggles namin. They think that we haven't gone through the challenges and struggles. And I've heard that a lot. Oh, you're successful because you don't understand my situation. Ganito kasi, I have debt, I have ganyan. But the thing that people don't realize that everyone faces setbacks. Everyone faces challenges. Everyone faces setbacks. And sure, there are some that face more setbacks than others.
Yep.
It depends on the situation, but everyone faces setbacks. And what really separates, what really separates those that, in my opinion, those that are successful from those that aren't, are the way that we address these setbacks, the way that we face these setbacks, the way that we and the way that we get past these setbacks, okay? These challenges, these roadblocks, these setbacks, and and the ability to move forward no matter what the circumstances, no matter what you face. I'd say that's my superpower. That's my own superpower. I've gone through different setbacks in my freelancing career and in my business also. I've lost clients that have paid me upwards of 100,000, and that's it's a huge loss.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden I wasn't earning anything. From like more than 100K, and then all of a sudden, boom, wala, earning nothing. I've had that. I've invested a lot of money. I'm ashamed to say how much money I've invested, and I've lost that money. I've had people say bad things about me. I faced a lot of different setbacks, other setbacks as well in my personal life also, and things like that. But just like in the game,
Mm-hmm.
even if you face the challenges, even if you die in the game, you keep moving forward. You keep moving forward, and that's like when I say you keep moving forward, you keep improving, you keep leveling up. That's in every single aspect in our life. Okay, and I'm not just talking about business because it all relates together. We have our work life, our personal life, family, and so on. But I think it all kind of relates together, all of these things, and in all areas, no matter what level we are at, I really believe that we can do things better. We can improve. We can keep moving forward. We can keep learning new things. We can keep gaining experience points in different areas because there really is no end to self-improvement. There really is no end to reaching goals. There's always a bigger boss. There's always a higher level to achieve. We don't stop at level 99. I know some games they stop at level 99, but we don't. As humans, we don't stop at level 99. We keep on. It's never ending. I try to do it. I try like every day. I try to keep moving forward. I try to learn new skills. I try to gain experience points. Whether that's in business, in my personal life, in health, in my relationships, in knowledge, in my different skills. So that's what I attempt to do or try to do every single. Of course, I don't succeed every day. We're human. We make mistakes, but I try to do it, and even just trying, that keeps me moving forward. But some days, sometimes you go down. But as long as the trend is upwards, it might be a very I'd say shallow or very low slope, maybe 1 degree angle. But what matters is that you're moving forward. So I don't really have like a secret formula to being successful. Oh, what's your secret? It's not really a big secret to being successful. I don't think anybody really does. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I drank this potion and now I'm successful. I invested in pig farming and now I'm successful. It's not like that. But what I do have, my superpower is that mindset, that determination to keep leveling up, to keep improving, and keep facing these new challenges. improving. And because of that, because I have that, I keep learning the the utilities. I keep getting these utility skills to help me with my productivity, with my like copywriting, with my exercise, and everything that I think would be helpful to the different aspects of my life. I keep learning, keep improving in those areas. And I think that's the reason why I was able to, in your like borrowing from your language, 10x my success.
Yep.
It's not an overnight story, but it's a constant, slow pace. It requires a lot of patience because if I improve by 1%, just 1% every single day, and I don't think it's possible really to say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to improve by 50%. It's not like that. Even yesterday I went to the gym, and when we have, I'm kind of on this program. I have an app, and the increments are always by it's not like from let's say 20 kilos to 40 kilos to 60. It's always like from 20 kilos to 22.5 kilos to 25 kilos to like 30 kilos. So it's always in these small increments. So I believe in these small increments, and if you continue with the small increments, in fact, let me pull this up here. I like based on the studies, if you improve by 1% every day, that compounds to 37x, 37 times, or 370% improvement in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
If you compound it all together, and I'm not successful every day, so I'd say like 10x is very, very achievable. If you do 1% every day and you can get 370% in 1 year, 100%, that's achievable, definitely. Or wait, no, well, no, I've got the math wrong. 3,700% if you compound it, but 1,000%. But yeah, okay, 37x is very achievable, even if you compound every day. Yeah.
That's actually a good point because you've actually covered a lot of points here. One would be the challenges that you faced when you were just starting as a freelancer. I mean, losing a six-figure a client, I can even imagine how that feels, right? I mean, it's the majority of your income, and then suddenly, bam, it's nothing. You're earning nothing, right? And then still keeping on doing what you're still doing, even in the face of that kind of boss. I mean, the challenge, right? That's really a good thing. And another thing that you covered is, improving yourself little by little every single day. It's not about that big amount of learning that you're going to, invest in yourself one time, and then you're going to leave yourself dormant, or leaving yourself without doing anything. It's about every day waking up and doing something for yourself or your business and stuff like that, right? It's what made you achieve the level of your success right now. And I'm just curious because it's obvious to me that you have achieved a lot of things in your life, right? You earn a lot of money, you have a lot of people following you, and you have traveled to different places. What other kind of experience in life are you looking to get, and what drives you to achieve that kind of success?
Well, it's the same. If you go back to the boss's analogy, you can say that I've achieved a certain level. I've achieved, let's say, I've defeated, the boss in level 60 or so on. But there's always something. There's always a bigger boss. There's always a bigger challenge. There's always new experiences in life, and that's the beauty of life. You can never really say, I've achieved everything in life. I've learned everything. I've gone everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's impossible. There's always something that you can do. But if we break it down to the most simple or the barest of things, I'm just like everybody else. Everyone wants to be happy and contented with life. That's it, right? We all have different definitions of that, but we all just want to be happy and contented with life. Maybe you can say I want to make an impact in this world. I've been doing that with the VA bootcamp. helping other Filipinos learn about freelancing and earn more money and so on. We have other plans for that as well in the boot camp to keep, and I have some personal plans as well. I'm making an impact, making a change in this world for the betterment of everybody. I want to be also, aside from making an impact, I want to have a good future for my future family. Um, so that involves making a little bit of money, having something for them, and just to be proud of something. I think that's everyone wants to be, just have something that they're proud of, whether it's work, whether it's a legacy, or whatever it is, whether it's your kids or so on. And the more I can make an impact, the more I can have a good future for my family, and the more I can be proud of something, then that's the better. And that's what really drives me, knowing that I can achieve more, knowing that there's a bigger boss to defeat. There are more challenges, more levels to achieve.
Right. Here's what I learned from that. You said that the more impact that you have, the higher the level of income you're gonna get, right? Um, it's what I'm learning from that is, the more people you help, the more income that the higher the impact that you do in their life, and the more help that you give to people, the more value, whatever you call it, uh, it grows equivalent to the level of income that you have.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if we want to have a lot of income, we need to help a lot of people, just like what you're doing right now.
yeah. But I wouldn't. Don't get me wrong. It's not only. And I don't just mean this in the way like people say, like being an influencer or so
Mm.
on. You don't you don't need to help people in that way. We all have our different callings, right?
Yep.
We all have different ways of helping people. Your way, like somebody's way, might be in helping businesses. Like you do copywriting stuff, helping businesses, reach more reach more customers, and that helps the business, and you help multiple businesses. Maybe your calling is to, at the top of my head, provide better some healthcare solutions for dogs, right? And that helps improve people's lives. It still makes an impact. So you don't have to like go on YouTube and make videos, because that's what people think. That's the first thing they think of when you say, okay, make an impact. Reach more people, help more people. You can do it in these different ways. And even if you just help one person, but if we all just help one person, then is that's like monumental, that kind of shift.
Exactly. I mean, it's not just about the reach, right? It's not about making the YouTube videos. It's about really actually helping people. As you said, it doesn't matter if you help people or their pets or their family, as long as you're impacting them. Now let's go to the meat and potatoes of our interview, because I'm really interested in knowing your answer on this question. Let's say that, knock on wood, you suddenly lose everything that you have. I mean, you lose your followers, you lose your name, you lose your money, everything that you have, your business assets, whatever income streams, and you are literally back to square one, and your bills are starting to pile up. What are the next three things that you're going to do to regain everything back?
So three things that I would do. Well, if we lose, like you said, you lose money, you lose your
Yep.
stream of income. So my primary goal would be to find a way to make money. Okay, find a way to make money quickly. And just to clarify, this wouldn't be through like starting a business, because when you start a business, there's risk. It requires investment,
Mm-hmm.
and it does require it does have a certain amount of risk. So I'd find a way to make money in the fastest way possible. And like with my existing skills, it's probably in like a sales or marketing related job, or if I can earn like a commission or percentage, maybe I'd go into like, real estate requires contacts. I don't have contacts, but you can always build. You can always start somewhere. like selling cars even or something. But that's really like the fast way to earn money by working, by um, getting a job, basically getting a job as a freelancer or as an employee. Okay, so that's the first thing I would do. Just find a way to make some money to pay the bills, to cover things, and then I try to start saving up an emergency fund. Depends on like how much, I'd say like 6 months, at least 6 months worth of income. So, because I like starting a business and being on my own, being independent. So that kind of is the goal in this scenario. But in order for me to get there, I need to have my emergency fund, at least 6 months worth. If you can even get 1 year worth of monthly expenses, that's better. So how much is 6 months worth of expenses? Maybe that's um, 30, 50, 30,000 a month, or let's say, or more than that, So I'd say like if you can get 200,000, 250,000 pesos at least as an emergency fund, so that I can start. The next step would be starting an online business. If the internet's still in this scenario, is the internet still there?
Yes.
It is still the internet. I'd start an online business. I'd go into SaaS maybe, or go into e-commerce, so that I can, I can just work on my business. If I go back to the previous step where I'm saving money and also trying to learn the skill. Well, if I already have the skills, I don't need to, but otherwise I'd be learning the skills that I need to start like a SaaS business or an e-commerce business, or something like that. So I pay the bills first, save money, and then work towards starting a business.
All right. So your step one would be to find a way to, pay your bills, right? Because as the question states, your bills are starting to pile up, right? Then step two would be to, save money for at least 6 months worth of expenses, or it would be better if we could extend it to 1 year. And then step three would be to create an online business, right? So let me just clarify your step two. Why do you think it's important for us to, save at least 6 months to 1 year of our expenses, and how can we make that, faster?
Well, it depends on what your goal is. I'd say, if your goal is to start a business eventually, I'd say 6 to 12 months of expenses that's non-negotiable. You have to have that emergency fund. The reason why it's so important is that when you start a business, things aren't always going to go the way that you want them to. Yeah. Sometimes it'll take months for it to really get rolling, for you to earn something, and maybe at first you're not earning enough. You won't be earning enough at first. And if you don't have an emergency fund, if you don't have that nest egg, then you're going to start panicking. You're going to say, oh no, I don't have money. I need to find quick money. And then you're going to get distracted. You're going to find a way to make some quick money. You're going to get distracted. You're going to go off your course as a business. And speaking from experience, that really happens. So I'd say that's important. And your second question was, how can we make that faster? How can you simple either? Well, if you want to save more money, there are only two solutions to that. Number one is either you make more money somehow. You increase your income, you work longer hours, you increase your skills, you go into areas that pay more money than where you are currently. And number two is you spend less money. Simple. You don't go to restaurants, you don't go to Starbucks anymore. You take jeeps and buses instead of taxis, and so on. So either spend less or earn more.
Awesome. Actually, that kind of advice is really helpful, especially for our audience who are thinking about transitioning from from being an employee to starting their own business. So we need to really save up at least 6 months to 1 year of our expenses, so that when things go down the hole, we would be ready, and we could still, as you said, stay on the course. Now, on your step three, you said that you would start an online-based business, right? And if it's going to happen today, you would go into e-com or SaaS or software as a service business, right? But for our audience who are watching right now, who doesn't have any skill, who are starting completely from scratch, can you give us some ideas on what business or what kind of skill we need to learn for us to be able to transition from being an employee to starting our own business?
Well, if you're on the path, depends where you are on the path, diba? 'Cause I can say like if it was me, I'd start
Yeah.
an e-commerce or SaaS business. That's because that's taking into account the skills that I currently have,
Yep.
right? And I have, I know about online marketing, I know a little bit about programming and so on and so forth. But if you're talking about somebody from scratch, somebody who's just starting out as like an employee,
Mm-hmm.
then I'd say, you start well, my own path. If you follow my path, I went into freelancing first. When I went into freelancing before I learned about online marketing and so on, that was my stepping stone. So find that stepping stone. For me, it was freelancing. For your audience, it could be something else. But I guess freelancing it's kind of easier to reach and start learning the skills. Of course, I'm not sure. Am I allowed to
Yeah, go
mention
ahead.
our we have the VA boot camp. Like over a VA boot, like we have our VA boot camp. We have a free VAcourse.com that teaches the starting skills for you to get into freelancing. This can be a long discussion. I won't really get into too much detail, but we recommend going into like starting as a virtual assistant and then learning from there. If you're starting from absolutely scratch, recommend starting as a virtual assistant, and then from there, because that's how a lot. Like I started as a general admin person, and then I learned about online marketing. I learned about all these things. So it's these stepping stones. Don't look to just leap like we talked about earlier. You don't look to jump all of a sudden to 100% improvement, because that's not possible. You're in your attempt to jump to reach the new pinnacle, you're gonna fall. So take those baby steps. Find what are the stepping stones. And in my opinion, for a lot of people, and in the current uh, scenario we have right now in the world, in the internet and everything that's going on, learning freelancing as a virtual assistant, and then focusing on a niche, and then just going from there. Those are the kind of the baby steps that I think are very wise and viable. And that's what I did. I learned how to do online marketing. I learned to start websites. I learned some programming things when I was doing this for other businesses. When I was helping them with businesses, and I was able to apply that in my own business as well. I learned from their mistakes. I learned from that experience, and when I started my own businesses, I just used that experience there. So I think I might be biased, but I think that my path is something that was something that's a good roadmap to follow.
Awesome. Boom. There are a lot of value bombs on that interview. Let's just recap now. Your first step would be to again find a way to earn money. Next step would be to save at least 6 months to 1 year of your current expenses monthly, and then finally is to start an online-based business. So whether it be via freelancing or starting an e-com business or whatever, you need to learn the skill first, as you said, right? Now let's go to the last question. What do you want to contribute to the world, or what are you looking to contribute to the world, and how are you planning on achieving it?
Um, with the thing that I think that how I can really help other people. We talked about making an impact and helping others. And I think one of the greatest areas I can really help people is by helping people reach their potential. I've been in the past. I've been a team manager. I've been a coach, where I just walk people through in their improvements in different areas, and like back in the call center days. And I think that is really where I can make the biggest impact, is helping people reach their potentials. There's an analogy that we only, what we see for most people, is the tip of the iceberg.
Mhm.
And the tip of the iceberg is only 10%, of what's the huge iceberg. Like the Titanic, they only saw the top.
Yeah.
They only saw the tip of the iceberg, but underneath there's this huge iceberg that sank the entire Titanic. So I believe that most people only achieve that tip of the iceberg. Most people only achieve 10% of their potentials. And I want to help people achieve and reach their potentials, or at least get closer to reaching their full potentials. I want to bring that, from 10%, I want to bring that number up closer to 100%. Of course, going upwards. I've been doing that through the VA bootcamp. I also have other plans in the future of how I can help people reach their potentials. But I think that's the biggest impact I can make, the biggest contribution, is helping people improve in their lives in different ways. And it doesn't necessarily need to be in freelancing, because not everybody is fit for freelancing. Doesn't necessarily need to be in business, because once again, not everybody's fit for business. But in no matter what kind of path you're on, I think that there's so much potential that is untapped and can be unlocked.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for spending the time with us, Jason, and sharing your skills, experiences, and story to our audience. How can we follow you? Do you have any free resources that we could consume?
You can follow me, and it's a pleasure. I love sharing my own story. I hope your audience gets a lot from this, and that they can at least do one thing that will improve them just at least by 1%. Tomorrow, after they watch this, you can start tomorrow, improve 1% at a time. You can follow me over the VA Bootcamp. That's our main program, vabootcamp.ph. Is the website. I think it's right here in Zoom. So my name is there, va.ph. On the Facebook, also vabootcamp.ph. We have our Facebook group, Freelancers in the Philippines. It's a free Facebook group. And it depends on your audience. If they're mostly currently employed and they want to start freelancing, we have our free VA course. Just to get started, freevacourse.com. And also, are we providing links? Should I give you links?
We're going to post the links at the bottom of the video. So
yeah. And also, if you have audience members who are currently freelancers and want to improve, I have a giveaway. A league management. It's a free course. It's called 5 Reasons Why Some Freelancers Earn $100K a month and Others Don't. So depends where you are. If you haven't started freelancing, we have the free VA course. But if you're currently a freelancer, I think this is a good free course for you. The 5 Reasons Why Some Freelancers Earn $100K and Others Don't.
All right. Again, we're going to paste the link at the bottom of the video. So thank you, Jason, for spending the time with us, and have a great day.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. You're going to. Bye, Jarek.
Bye-bye.